Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoteric, and you know what time it is? It's time for another tour through the Super Sega video game trap house, because I kid you not, this just keeps getting weirder and weirder, and we're gonna have maximum fun with this one today, because Alejandro and the Super Sega team uploaded a new video as of yesterday, talking about what they're doing as far as negotiating with Sega is concerned, if that in fact is even what's happening. And once we get into that footage, I cannot stress enough, you have never seen anything quite like this. It is over the top, it is amazing. It is a level of parody that only filmmakers could hope to achieve one day. Let's go over a little bit of what's going on here with a supercut of the man, the myth, the legend himself, the Leonardo da Vinci of scamming, Alejandro. He has been posting all of these different videos to the Super Sega website, and I have absolutely no idea what the intent of them is trying to be. They're supposed to convince you that he is some sort of person of renown in Spain who has a track record on all these projects and all these television shows. But when we talk about Super Sega FPGA, the person in front of you is the mastermind behind the whole thing. And I am using the term mastermind not in a positive way. I'm sure you can understand and read between the lines. But we have had so much fun talking about the Super Sega project, making all sorts of jokes and memes, the video game trap house, the golden Allen wrench, and everything else that comes with it. And even though I never expected to make this series, it has been absolutely one of my favorite things to do in 2024. But the flip side sad thing about that is a lot of people have had their money taken, and obviously now the off-ramp on that exit to the scam highway is definitely being taken, because they have sent a letter to Sega apparently telling them that Sega either has to pay to change the name, or they're giving them a 14-day time limit to do so. And this is all after the fact that if you're not familiar with this, there is a $3 pre-order out there that I warned everybody in video format on to not participate in, because the terms of that €3 pre-order were that they could charge you the full price of the console anytime they wanted, and shockingly within 48 hours of that, the entire pre-order purchase price of €420 was charged. And if you believe them when they say they have over 300 orders, we're talking over €100,000 minus the credit card processing fees. So if you have pre-ordered this thing, I can't stress enough, it is time to call your credit card company and do a chargeback, because even though Alejandro has the most trustworthy face of anyone I've ever seen on YouTube, I can assure you, you are more likely to find Sasquatch in the woods than you are to receive a Super Sega unit. And the previews have been absolutely amazing in all the best and worst ways. People much smarter than me have gone over the PCB and proven it can't do anything, and I was even able to identify some of those things even though I am not an electrical engineer by trade. This has just been an odyssey that is absolutely wild in every way, shape, or form. We have Lamborghinis, we have motorcycles, we have dancing, we have magic, we have all sorts of different things. And when I say magic, I do mean that Alejandro is also apparently an amateur magician on the side, and that makes total sense because he is going to make your money just absolutely disappear. And the most recent test of the quote-unquote Dreamcast FPGA core, Alejandro wants you to be convinced that the video signal is coming out of that monolithic black slab on the table there. Definitely a design language expert, and the back of the television looks like the abominable snowman himself came in and just absolutely bricked a gallon of you-know-what all over that television. I do not understand it, but I absolutely love to see it. He even turns the light on just so you know that that paint is back there with the cables, and the supplementary 5-volt USB going in from the television to the back of the unit makes absolutely no sense either. That would at least mean that there is a very bad electrical engineering problem on the board, and at the worst it would just be there because it kind of looks a little bit more like the television and the Super Sega are actually doing something. But getting back to what is currently going on, this is what Alejandro was talking about, that Sega had corresponded with him and told him he needed to shut the project down. And in the previous video, we can't take anything at face value. It is as likely as Sega contacted him as they did not. But if you're trying to take in money and you wanted to be able to shut the project down and find a scapegoat as to the reason why, then the manufacturer of the original consoles and the owner of the name Sega, obviously Sega, would actually be a very good way of getting out from underneath this. But to this point in time, at least as I'm recording this audio, they have not canceled the project yet, and they are still talking about crowdfunding. And I am sure if you donate to his crowdfunding campaign, you will absolutely receive an FPGA console that plays every single Super Sega game, as much as I'm convinced that I'm going to be able to dunk tomorrow, which is to say, I'm not going to be able to dunk tomorrow. This is just absolutely over the top, jump the shark, 10 out of 10 Hall of Fame levels of gold horseshit, and I just can't get enough of it, and neither can you guys too. to. But let's go over to his most recent video and his most recent statement on the topic, and you better hold on to your asses, folks, because this just keeps getting weirder. He uploaded a music video from 2007 apparently creating an award-winning song for the 2007 season of F1 racing to explain the contact with Sega, and don't try to understand why he has done this. You could spend all day long and you would still have as many questions as you do right now. This is the statement he left to the right, and I am now translating it over. Today the response was sent to Sega. We gave them a period of 14 days to give us a response. What he's trying to say is he's actually forcing Sega's hand, and that's not how these things work. The company that is actually contacting you that may sue you is the one that sets the time periods. Moving even further into it, they said, and we hope we can reach an agreement so that the device goes ahead. We show you a video of our coordinator, then they list his whole name, which I'm not going to do on the channel, and they show you the video of him preparing this song, and that's part of the statement in the contact with Sega. Why is he talking about a music video? I do not know. It goes on to say, and a song he dedicated to, and then there's another name that I'm taking out, and that was selected as the soundtrack for the 2007 season on Tele 5, assuming they're talking about the racing series here. It closes out with saying the three capitalist partners of Super Sega are three people, all of them with the surname of Martin. Now granted, this is a translation, so it is very hard to say if that is perfect, but the gist of it is he's saying that he's given Sega 14 days to respond to him and either offer him money to destroy the units apparently, or to allow him to change the name. So this isn't shutting down quite yet. It's almost like a David and Goliath, with Sega being the Goliath and Alejandro here being the David, but in this instance David is a Spanish dancing man who also does magic on television, who likes to walk around in his underwear while demonstrating his own hardware on a TV that is covered in gallons upon gallons of white paint. And that's what he was talking about in this previous shaky cam footage, which feels like signs of life evidence from a kidnapping, that he basically was telling Sega that they couldn't shut the project down, because he talked about in the previous video, and with yesterday's upload reinforcing that, he is basically setting the table to cancel the project and saying it was Sega's fault, and he's already said that he's produced 300 consoles and Sega wants them to destroy them. What could you have possibly produced based upon the prototypes we have seen on camera? We all know from multiple parties going over them, they are basically non-functional. Did you produce 300 doorstops so you can put them in a box and send them to people to try to say that you need more time to update so that you have delivered something so they can't do credit card chargebacks? That is possible, but I think there's only one or two Super Sega FPGAs in existence, and they appear in these videos. And God, oh God, if they ever become available, those two prototypes, I will buy one day one. I want this thing for my collection so I can tear it down. Alejandro, if you're listening, I will give you $1,000 right now after one of these units arrives in a box to my doorstep. That is cash on delivery, I guarantee it, because I want to show you guys what this thing actually is. I want to go through all the traces and all the pathing and show you exactly what the Super Sega FPGA board is, but I do not expect that agreement to be honored, but it is a very real offer. If you're watching, go ahead and send me this board right here, and when it arrives to my doorstep, I will send you $1,000 so I can take a look at it, guaranteed. But I'm assuring you that will not happen, because this thing, whatever it may be, would instantaneously be torn apart on my channel, and you would all know exactly the trickery involved here. But this is just getting so over the top, absolutely wild. This may be now the most hilarious project I've ever seen in retro gaming, and there is no FPGA Dreamcast board in the Super Sega FPGA. For all I know, it is just 4 rats banging in a wool sock inside that box. I don't know what's in there, but I know what it isn't, and it isn't anything that you're going to play Dreamcast games on in an FPGA recreation. But I know you guys love the video game Trap House Saga, so I gotta keep bringing it to you. And again, I've had a metric crap ton of fun making these videos. I get to do the voiceovers a little bit differently and have a little bit more of a personality in them versus my normal content. That's always fun to kind of flex the creative muscles and make sure you guys have a laugh along the way. Believe me, comment down below and you tell me, of all the things you've seen right now, what is your favorite video they've uploaded? For me, it is definitely him dancing on Spanish television. But other than that, Super Sega FPGA, I'm sure we'll announce something new soon, and you know I'll be there to cover it. Bye-bye.
Yo, get on up. Yo, get on top. Hey, get away. Yeah. You gotta rock. You gotta love. You gotta move. Hey, get on rock. Sega